What is up, guys? Flossy Missiles here. In today's video, I'm finally gonna weld on these skid wheels. Gonna weld these babies on right here and right here. I'm also gonna be making a little mounting plate or bracket, or mounting plate, I guess you'd call it, for my gas fuel neck. It's just literally being held up by like some random like rubber that I had laying over there. But I'm gonna make a plate for it right here. It's gonna sit nice. Probably out of, I think it's 14 gauge. Can't remember how thick that metal is. Make a mounting plate for that. Also, that's where I'm going to be routing the lines for my airbags right up to the mounting plate for my gas cap area. And I'm going to be filling in these holes. If you can see them, someone commented and said, hey, what about if water gets into your frame and starts rusting it out from the inside out? And I was like, hey, that's a good point. I should probably fill those. So I'm going to cut out some sheet metal and go ahead and try to fill these holes as best as I can, just to keep them watertight and keep everything out. But let's get started. Okay, as you just saw, I made this little template out of cardboard. It should work great. So here's what I'm thinking. This mounting plate or template for right now is gonna mount right about right there. You guys can see that. Went ahead and punched a hole in it for my gas, and yeah, it should be pretty sweet. I'm not gonna punch the holes in it right now for the airlines because I don't have those hooked up, but those are just gonna go, you know, right over there. But yeah, it came out super dialed. Let's cut it out of metal now. Here's what it looks like transferred over to metal. I just traced the template, and I wish I had a hole saw to get this, but I don't. So I'm gonna have to end up cutting this out with a Dremel. Hopefully I can get it good enough and cut the rest out, and we'll weld this thing on.
I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. All my friends
went ahead and cleaned up the edges and everything, but it is complete and it's nice. I ended up cutting my hand a little bit just by scraping against the side of it. So yeah, I got all the major burrs off it, and look at this circle I cut into it. That's gas cap off. Circle is like such a nice fit. It's super tight all the way around. Like a perfect circle without a hole saw. Sorry for the wind. But I'll show you where I'm going to mount it. Okay, it should mount on something like this, and I have enough room for my airline fittings to go right next to it. And it looks really clean, honestly. Now I just got to weld it into place. So yep, gas neck mounted and soon to be airlines mounted right there. And now let's move on to the next thing. While patching those holes for the spacers that are holding up my bed, it's really not a good situation. I mean, I got that one looking somewhat okay. But yeah, I'm talking about these holes right here. I was trying to fill them just because you know, water and mud and stuff getting in there. But I went ahead and I crawled underneath this thing and I looked, and there's a bunch of holes going down my frame rail from like front to back. So I mean, it could technically drain if water got in there, but you know, dirt and stuff still might not be a good thing. But I don't know if I am going to continue doing this, because this right here probably took like, I don't know, 30 minutes, just because the way how it divots down and goes back up. And it's like when I was welding this bead right here, I was getting a lot of undercut on this piece, which I don't want. And so I don't know, I'm not super concerned about that, so I don't know, I might just let it ride. So for now, let's weld those skid wheels onto the rear. And man, I can't wait to get these things on. I actually pulled one apart a second ago because I looked at that grease fitting and I was like, is there an actual bearing in there? And so I took it all apart, and sure enough, there's bearings inside this thing. So let's weld these on.
running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing a song.
All welded up, those things look so sweet on there. It's funny, they look all tiny compared to the rest of the truck. But yeah, digging them, definitely digging them. Okay, now I'm working on how the ramps are going to mount up. So I got this 3/4 inch round. It's a 10-footer. I got to cut it down to 96 inches. So right there, cut off 2 feet of it. I'm gonna mount that going along this rear bumper right here, and it'll give something for the ramps to hook onto. Also, I'm gonna put a plate like on top, so the ramps can't kick up. You know, sometimes when you get your front tires onto the trailer, onto a truck, whatever, then the ramp pops up, and it's not a good time. So I'm gonna do all that. First, I gotta cut this. Okay, so now I'm just making a few templates. It's different styles and different little ways I can mount this bar. Basically, I need a few of these brackets to hold it in place, but I want it to be nice and strong, so I'm trying a few different things. So I ended up designing some pretty sweet little brackets, but they were way too hard to cut out, so now I am just gonna make it out of some angle.
Is this movie that I think you like? This guy decides to quit his job and head to New York City. This cowboy's running from himself.
I got the bar set up there right now, and it actually looks really sweet. That makes obviously some more brackets for the middle, but I just have the two end ones tacked in place for now. And yeah, I like the way it fits a lot. Probably make at least, I don't know, 4 more brackets for it, and fully weld these and cut off the ends and make them all nice and smooth. But that's gonna be the look of it. I have this, I think it's like 1/2" plate I just cut up. Made one bracket, I put it right there, you guys can see it, and it made this thing like crazy strong. So I'm gonna put one more right here where it's all ground down, and then fully weld everything, and it should be ready to rock. It is fully welded on now. I just gotta go ahead and go back and clean up some of the welds and extra material from the bracket I made. But super duper strong. And this isn't gonna prove anything because I'm just a human, but it's strong. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean those up. And here's the plate. I think this is 12 gauge. I can't remember the thickness of this, but I'm gonna do 23 by 2" strips. One from like here to here, and same thing on the other side. And you'll see what I mean, how the ramps can't come out. As soon as I do that, the ramps are gonna be super solid in there. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got lump in my throat. Here's the idea of it. I just have it C-clamped into place, but basically you'll drop the ramp down right next to it, right here, and you'll be able to slide it underneath. Can't really slide it because I got one hand, but slide it underneath so it can't come up whenever you know, tow something up on here, or pull something up on here, whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and weld this into place and see how well it works out.
I just wanna know if you're gonna stay.
Alright, so this well's been cooling down for like maybe 6 or 7 minutes now. But I want to show you guys how it's going to work. So this ramp's going to be slid underneath. I'm going to make a little slide away for it. So all you're going to basically have to do is pick it up, hook it in. After it's hooked in, you just slide it over. Now it's locked into place. So when you get the front wheels up there, the suspension compresses, it can't come up. It's locked in. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. I'm super stoked the way this turned out. I got to weld the other one right now. But thanks for watching, and subscribe to see more car content.
She's destined for the screen. Closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer that you've ever seen. Oh, lady.